Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Lionel Thompson, who's actually a community development officer in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development. A hearty good evening to one and all. I want to recognize my cabinet colleagues, Minister Gonzalez, Minister West, Alderman Kwesi Robinson, Chairman of the Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation, members of council, chairman of UDCUT, Mr. Garcia, CEO of UDCUT, Mrs. Tamika Charles, Ms. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Digital Transformation, Mr. Madre, CEO of iGovTT, Mr. Charles Bob Semple, Reverend Anderson Maxwell of the St. Mary's Anglican Parish, Tacarigua. Distinguished guests, I see many in our presence this afternoon, former MP Hart. We also invited former MP Marilyn Gordon, members of the Tacarigua Village Council, members of the National Association of Village and Community Councils, members of staff of respective partner agencies, special awardees, members of the Tacarigua Community and Environs, specially invited guests, members of the media, good afternoon and welcome. It's a pleasure, a privilege for me to stand before you this afternoon and to deliver this feature address to you. Over the past couple months, we have been going from community to community, delivering long-awaited facilities to serve you, community centers. This afternoon, I join in celebrating the opening of the Tacarigua Community Centre. Across Trinidad and Tobago, we have at least 300 community centers, which serve as the heart and soul, or should I say the lifeblood of the community. Each community center is unique and plays a significant role in the lives of the residents of that community. And the centers are used as hubs for development, as a place where people can come and unite and share ideas, share their culture, teach others about different means and measures towards improving themselves personally and professionally. This is a place where you have weddings, receptions, christenings, workshops, training sessions, cultural shows and meetings. It is that place where everybody meets. Those of us who grew up in a village setting know the importance of community centers. We recently celebrated 60 years of independence and 46 years of being a republic. And we must salute the founding father of the nation, Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, for his vision and his work in seeing community centers as a very important facility as it relates to national development. A place for residents of the community to come out and share and to learn about each other. Tonight we opened with an African gospel dance, and right before I spoke we had an Indian dance. This is where the best of Trinidad and Tobago from all walks of life meet. And as early as 1963, 1 year after independence, Dr. Williams went on a Meet the People tour throughout Trinidad and Tobago, because he recognized we came from different backgrounds, culturally, economically, and we needed a place or a platform to come, to share, to unite, to contribute to the development of Trinidad and Tobago, to learn that discipline, that tolerance, and production. And so he began by establishing community centers in each community, hence the reason we have over 300 community centers throughout Trinidad and Tobago. It's not simply a place to say we have one. It's for you, the people, to use, to come here, to build Trinidad and Tobago. Many politicians are born right here in your community center. Many leaders are born right here in the community center. So it's a place that is very sacred to communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Over the past 2 years, we had the COVID-19 situation, and we had to close some of the centers. But I am happy that we are now able to reopen centers fully, and that persons and communities can come out and truly utilize these facilities. Originally, we heard from Ms. Robinson earlier that Tacarigua was a sugarcane farming district, and over the years we have developed from the Orange Grove Sugar Estate to what we have as a residential community. And that's for those who said nothing has happened over the years. Tacarigua is a hub for sporting activities from the Eddie Hart Savannah. The government has invested tremendously in Tacarigua over the years. We have here the Eastern Regional Indoor Sporting Complex, the National Hockey Center, the National Racket Center. So you have a long, strong history of development in Tacarigua, and the government continues to invest in your community, hence the reason we have spent over $18 million towards developing this world-class facility for you, the people of Tacarigua and environs, to enjoy. I want to, go ahead, clap, yes. Because this is money spent in your community, and as Minister Gonzalez said earlier, there are many other communities and many other areas in Trinidad and Tobago who would hope for a facility of this quality. Look around, from your stage, the lighting, the audio visual, we have a training room, we now have a gym, we have a training center for those who want to keep classes in the community center, and we have been working hand in hand with the Ministry of Digital Transformation to introduce internet cafes in each of the new community centers. I want to salute the Ministry of Digital Transformation. My first gig when I entered the Ministry of Sport and Community Development in 2020 was the opening of the Carenage Homework Center, where we added a facility to allow the people from Carenage to get connected to the internet and get access to government programs and projects through the internet. And that is a major shift in the development of community centers. Back in the days, many years ago, when I was a child, I am 40 now, so many, many years ago, a community center was pretty much 4 walls, a roof, as we say in Tobago, a seke stage. Yes. Today we can boast of so much more in the facility. You have a training kitchen. You have a laundry, so it's set up in a way so that if there is a hurricane or any natural disaster, you can come and spend time in the community center until you can get back out. We are now introducing gyms to community center, and you have that here too, to promote health and fitness within the community and to promote business development in your fitness professionals within the community. I think the internet cafe and what we're doing with digital transformation is, and even the work we're doing with National Library, with NALIS, to bring these facilities to your community, that is the most transformational part of the work that we are doing. Yes, a big stage is nice. Yes, an auditorium that can hold 300 persons, that's awesome. But I think the internet opens a window of opportunities for the members of a community. Those who don't have internet connection at home can come here, do Zoom meetings, can come here, take classes online, and even have access to the internet to see what is available, not only in Tacarigua, in the rest of Trinidad, Tobago, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world. So I want the people of Tacarigua to make good and full use of your community center. You will go from village to village, community to community, and everybody wants a health center. Everybody wants a well-lit playing field. Everybody wants a community center. But when you call on members of the village council and members of the community groups to have events to fully utilize these centers or these facilities offered by the government, you're found wanting. I know that would not happen here in Tacarigua because your village council have a long, strong history of being very active and being very productive. So I want to salute you on that. And I want to encourage you in Tacarigua to make this community center truly a community center for all of the community. Remember, Minister Gonzalez spoke about what he's experiencing is in his constituency, and I can say so plainly, it is a challenge. It is a challenge to get community folks to unite, to make full use of the community and make the community center available and accessible to all. Yes, Dr. Eric Williams granted to you community centers in 1963. It was for all of the community. It was for a place for us to unite and come together as one. Today, we are facing some serious challenges from community center to community center. We have a situation in one community center where the person who is holding the key has turned the community center into a homeless facility. So nobody else in the community could access the center. There's a new trend now among village councils where if one group in the village council elected one person for president and somebody else don't like that person or they didn't get the results they desired, they go and hold another election and have a second village council and then asking the Ministry of Sport and Community Development to come in and play judge and juror. That was not the intention. That was not the intention, and that would not be tolerated. You have community center people with the keys who keep the keys at home and who are not allowing others to use the community center. You have folks in the community who are utilizing the community center, leaving the lights on at night, running up the bills, renting out the community center and not using the monies to pay the bills because that's what the monies are for. You as a community group, a village council, you ought to generate economic activity to get monies to pay your bills. Half the time the ministry don't see those funds, and secondly, you don't pay your bills, and then you want to take the ministry to court. Yes? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a challenge. And some village councils and some communities are doing a better job than others. But I hope that some of the problems that we experience elsewhere, we do not experience here at this spanking new world-class Tacarigua Community Centre. All of our efforts as a government are geared towards putting people first, providing opportunities for you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Every investment we make, every decision taken, no matter how difficult it is, it's not for our personal interests. It is for the development and the advancement of all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is your facility. Utilize it to the best of your ability. The ministry continues to stand ready to provide assistance through a care grant to groups who wish to have programs in the community, to sporting groups for those who want to have sporting activities in your community. Anything you name it, the ministry, the government has some sort of facility to provide assistance through grants, financial assistance, technical assistance, to provide to you the necessary help that you need towards building and transforming your community. And this is the investment we make. This is the vision of this government. And yes, as we read the budget and implement new measures, all of it is geared towards improving the lives of all Trinidadians and Tobagonians. When there was much more, many years ago, you had the subsidies afforded to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, even in a time when there is less, we still try to maintain that level of assistance to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There's much to be proud of and to be happy about as we expand once again the GATE program to allow young people to take advantage of free education. We've built a country on free education. No matter what takes place in the world economically, we in the government of Trinidad and Tobago have held our commitment as it relates to ensuring that these youngsters go to school and have access to free quality education from kindergarten or early childhood center levels all the way up to university. And there are so many other grants and so many opportunities provided for us. And there are difficult decisions that we have to take, that we must take, not only for ourselves, but the little children who are coming up among us. You hear the cries of everybody who wants everything right now. What are we prepared to do What kind of sacrifices are we prepared to make? What kind of investment are we prepared to make now so that the little children who are coming up among us would have something to look forward to? And this is something we really have to take into consideration. Everybody wants everything for nothing. Everybody wants everything, but willing to give up nothing. You want a good life now. We all want a good life now. But what kind of investment are we making for the younger ones? What kind of preparations are we making for the younger ones? There are people among us right now who don't have a proper savings for themselves. Far less have a proper savings for their children to go to university. We as a government have to take that into consideration and make the necessary changes and do the necessary things that we have to do now to allow a better future for the children who are coming up. We sit here healthy and strong, looking good, well-fed, because somebody else had to sacrifice then so that we can have now. So then why is it so hard for us now to sacrifice for the young children who are coming up? I like to always say I came from a family of 8 children. We are all 1 year apart. So I'm 40, the brother before me is 41, the one under me is 39. And that is how my parents did it. But in the end, at the end of the day, they had to make it work. Same mother and father, at the end of the day, they had to make it work. And there are people who make a cry saying, poor people shouldn't have plenty children. I don't believe in that. My parents say, make the children, train them well, and send them out into the world to be good citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and let them make more children, and do the same thing, and continue making that investment. I remember watching my mother breastfeed, and even in the way she raised us, when you got to the age of 12 years old, you're not getting any clim in your tea. You drink your bush tea just like that, because the milk is for the younger children. I gave you milk from age 0 to 12. When you go off to secondary school, the milk is for the younger children. We have to make that sacrifice so that they can have. Yes? Yes? And because we came one after the other, as much as I would have wanted to stay on the breast, I had to come off so that somebody else could get on. And that's the truth of it. And that's the reality of life. Trinidad and Tobago has been good to all of us over the years. We have all benefited in some way or the other. Whether it's free education, traveling the boat free, traveling, whatever it is that the government has provided. Some of us haven't worked a day in our life and we receive the pension. Yes, it's the truth. You have this grant, that grant, your foot out in here, you get a grant. It is the truth. And no matter what happens, the social safety net has always been strong. And we have always continued to invest in the social development of our people, making sure that those who are not as fortunate as others have equal opportunity to the patrimony of Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who didn't make it in secondary school, you now have access to MIC, CCC, high program, must program. All these programs have to go on so that everybody could get a chance to make it. So the sacrifices have to be made. The difficult decisions have to be made. And we as government, we stand resolute in making those difficult decisions. At the end of the day, when you go into the voting booth, you vote who you want. Yeah, but when we are in government and when we sit at the table to make the difficult decisions, we are looking out for your best interest. And sometimes what is good for you is not good for our politics. But at the end of the day, we have to do what is good for you. You're big and you have sense. There's a lot of negative rhetoric out there. Oh, it's a bad budget. Oh, we had to walk now. And when you compare the standard of living in Trinidad and Tobago and the kind of support offered to us as Trinbagonians, and you compare it to what is happening in Barbados, what is happening in Jamaica, chalk and cheese. Chalk and cheese. So I urge you, guard your head, guard your heart, guard your future, guard your children's future. We are on a roll. We are on a mission to continue the work that Dr. Eric Williams started, to continue to invest in the social and economic development of Trinidad and Tobago so that we can enjoy the standard of living that we have now become so accustomed to. And there are difficult decisions that we must make and difficult measures that we must employ so that the ones who are coming up can have milk to drink and have a future to look forward to. So we stand here today proud as a government, making this investment in the people and in the community of Tacarigua, encouraging you to come here, share your ideas, make your contribution towards the development of Trinidad and Tobago, make your contribution towards building a better future for your youngsters. This is our role as government. Side by side we stand with boundless faith in our destiny. As the national anthem said, in the fires of hope and prayer. We are living the life that all foreparents hoped and prayed for. And with boundless faith in our destiny, we march on from pillar to pillar, from strength to strength, so that the daughter of a CPEP worker could become a doctor sometime. Yes? So that the son of a fisherman could become a pilot sometime. And those are sacrifices that we have to make as we invest not only in ourselves, but in those who are coming up. So to you, the cut, Chairman and CEO, and all of you in the ministry who have contributed towards delivering this fine facility to the people of Tacarigua, I thank you. I salute you. To the members of the Village Council, serve, continue to serve. We honor all of you today. We know that it is a labor of love. Make good on this investment. We stand as a ministry and as a government to continue to put our most valuable resource first. We are investing in you. We are doing our part. We are stretching out our hands, and we ask you to do your part too. So thank you. God bless you. God bless our nation.